welcome you tonight to Smith Center in Chapel Hill. It's game one of our ACC Network doubleheader tonight, and the first meeting since late December 1998 for the Cal Bears and the North Carolina Tar Heels. And great to be with the Hall of Famer Jim Boeheim, Corey Alexander, Wes Durham here courtside tonight, which we think a ball game that's going to see a lot of scoring here, guys. And coach, in the case of the Golden Bears, Andrej Stojakovic has been terrific for Mark Matson's team.
He's really a good player, and I think they have a really good team. They've been ahead a lot of games that they've lost. It's just about handling the travel back and forth. And, you know, nobody knows the answer to that yet. I think it's hard for college kids, but this kid can really play. Play with anybody.
Corey, quite a pedigree for Stojakovic, huh?
He absolutely is. And a McDonald's All-American. We're talking about a young man that came out of high school, highly talented, and went to Stanford. Didn't work out for him there. Makes the move to Cal, playing for Mark Madsen, another guy who made the move from Stanford to Cal, and he has been able to be unlocked. Getting downhill, attacking the basket, a big guard to say the least, but not all about his scoring. Has the ability to distribute and also blocking over one shot per game on the defensive end of the floor. So not just a score, getting it done in all facets.
Of course, he had 30 in the win at Clemson. And we'll get a look at Stojakovic. And you see this, most points in their first 5 ACC career games in the last 20 years. The list is strong, Jim. It's real strong.
Let's just say that the other 4 guys on that list are all getting paid very well right now at the next level.
Well, this kid will be there. He can do a lot of things, as you said, Corey. And by the way, try to get here on time so we can get this rehearsed right. Anyway.
When the beat drops, Coach, I'm in the building.
The guy does a lot of things, and I think that's what he's not just a shooter. He can pass, he can defend. His coach today was really talking about his on-ball defense being really good, and that's important.
Yeah, we're going to watch Stojakovic tonight. We're also going to get to see R.J. Davis. That's a proven product in the ACC. And maybe one of the premier young scorers in the conference, Ian Jackson.
Absolutely. Ian Jackson getting the job done, over 20 points per game in ACC play, and now a fixture in the starting lineup. No way Hubert Davis can take him out and sit him on the bench.
Petritus and the Bears here in the front court. Sissoko, the big fellow, the transfer from Michigan State. And Petritus with the opening possession. And this is Javon Blackshear Jr. on the attack. Campbell the 3 from the right. Long rebound, Petritus. Bears right back at him. Runner by Campbell is up and good. So
and that's the thing they've got to be worried about. It's a small team. I think Hubert is going with a small team. It's been good for him, but you're going to give up some offensive rebounds.
And Cal averages over 12 offensive rebounds per game. It is rare that you ever come into the Dean E. Smith Center and find a team that's a better offensive rebounding team than the Tar Heels. However, that's been the case often this year.
Here's Jalen Washington, the hero of Saturday, over Sissoko on the jump shot good.
We watched Jay Wash work on that with Sean May earlier today and looks very comfortable now catching in his opportunities in the post.
And he has to be, with all these little guys out here, he has to be a presence for them. They need him inside, blocking shots, rebounding.
Blackshear uses the Sissoko screen against Powell and knocks down the jump shot. Javon's only had 1 double-figure game in his last 5. That was the 15 he had at Clemson on their first trip east this year. And Cal up by a basket. Davis. And now here's Jackson with his first touch. Over Stojakovic and knocks it down. The captain is in the building early.
He made every shot in practice today. Every play they ran, he made every one. And he started out the same way tonight.
Coach Boeheim, UM West, both were a little surprised when I told you that as a young player, he did not shoot the basketball well. He's a guy that's put a lot of work in on the jump shot. But you can see the work is paying off.
Look at this. Powell, the length of the floor.
Transition. Coach talked about that today. You have to get that.
Mark Madsen red-hotted his team after a 3 and a layup. Well, Mark Madsen red-hotted his own club here, Corey, because 2 things he talked about today. Take a look at Jackson every time he gets a catch. and make sure you get back in defensive transition.
He had his team in the huddle. He asked them, what's the keys to winning? And one was to not allow 11 to get threes. Secondly, transition defense. And you've seen 2 examples of that execute to perfection for the Tar Heels.
But you talk about that, and then, you know, it's players. You know.
But, Coach, the players actually answered the question, so they knew the answers to the test.
You got to get back. You got to be able to get back.
And there's a turnover at the post. Carolina running again. Here's Powell on another scoop. And Campbell collects.
But, Coach, this is a team, when you think about the Cal Bears, that does not handle the basketball extremely well. They're a -30 on the season. And they have a higher turnover rate than assists. So this is the last team you want to do that against, correct?
You can't let them get in transition. And,
there goes Cadeau.
They're talking about transition, but it's easy to talk about, very hard when you come into this building and get your team to get back. It's not easy.
Driving basket by Cadeau. Tar Heels with a 3-point lead. There's a fall away from Blacksher.
And once again, if Carolina can make Cal take those shots, they're going to have success, because those are tough shots to be able to go up against individually. They've got to find a way to get the basketball in the painted area.
Floater from Davis. And Campbell, who's got 2 quick field goals for Cal. And here's Stojakovic. And Ian Jackson defending. Double team help from Washington. Well, they want it out of Stojakovic's hands.
Well, and again, Stojakovic went to the back down, but he doesn't really have much of a size advantage over Jackson. Jackson can hold his own.
Campbell's got 4 already. And he's got the ball with the clock winding down, and the long 2 spins out.
Tough shots. You don't like to do that in here.
Washington tees up another one at 16 feet.
That's the area where he can be so much better for Carolina. Has the ability to stretch the floor even beyond the 3-point arc, but yet to hit one this season.
There goes Andre to the rack. Layup falls off. Sissoko battles, and a foul going to be called here. Pat Driscoll out from under the basket, and the foul is going to be on Cadeau. It'll be his first on the Tar Heels. We get a timeout in Chapel Hill. Carolina by 3. Well, Saturday was his first career double-double. Take that out of the loop, and you get the game-winning dunk with 24 seconds left, and the game-preserving block at the horn from Jalen Washington. Jim, you talked a moment ago, taking the next step. He's going to be an important piece if they continue to have success with the 4 guards or the 4 little guys. So how big a step is that in your mind for him?
He has to do that and a little more if they're going to be successful moving forward. Corey said the guards are little guards. They're not 6'4" or 5. They're 6 foot, 6 foot.
And there's a 3-bar Stojakovic. It bounds away, and Ian Jackson puts Carolina in the front court. Vel-Allen Lubin into the lineup now. Junior from Orlando. Davis tried to get it back to Lubin, turned over, and Stojakovic the other way. Tried to beat Jackson, and Ian touched it last.
And that's great hands by Ian Jackson. That one may have gone off of Stojakovic.
Close.
And Ian was looking over at Matt Potter to see, that's the angle. Hard to see from that one, but great hands by Ian Jackson. And one of the things that Hubert Davis talked to us about was he can be an elite defender. His athleticism is off the charts, and he's got good size at about 6'4".
Big play.
Jeremiah Wilkinson had his shot rejected. Seth Trumble's come on the floor, by the way, during the timeout for Drake Powell in the Carolina order. And here's Cadeau out front for 3. Standing 3 for Elliot Cadeau is just his 13th of the year.
Much improved this year shooting the basketball from outside. Has made some big shots. None bigger, of course, than the one at Notre Dame.
Huge, but when he makes shots, it's a different team.
Stojakovic at 3. Bounds away. The rebound. Cadeau ahead for Jackson in transition. Layup good.
He's really good. Not just pretty good, really good.
And the one thing you don't want to do is get in a foot race with Ian Jackson. Once he gets a step, it's going to be tough to be able to contain him. But I love the way that he has really just fit in and has found a role here in this starting lineup. Seth Trumbull now coming back off the bench. We'll see how he's able to respond in his role.
Travel is going to be the call on Joshua Ola-Joseph. Second turnover on Cal in the ballgame.
And this is when you're thinking North Carolina basketball. Vel-Allen Lubin coming up with the denial, and then Elliot Cadeau stepping back. When you go underneath the screen, you're forced to shoot it. But this is UNC basketball at its best. Getting out in transition, Ian Jackson with the finish. And we see the zone defenseman results in a turnover.
Yeah, Cadeau was trying to fire it, I think, to Trimble. Cal's missed their last 6 shots from the floor. Almost 6 minutes in, they trail 8. Stojakovic without a basket so far.
Well, and you know, I mean, once again, he's got the assignment of having Seth Trimble, their best perimeter defender, defending him. I tell you what, Campbell's been able to find some success, especially when he's gotten in the paint.
Yeah, 6 for DJ Campbell, by the way. Transfer from Western Carolina out to the Cal program. He played for Justin Gray last year in Cullowhee. There's Cadeau, another shot. He's got 7. Elliot Cadeau had 4 points, 11 assists Saturday in Raleigh, and he's already got 7 here tonight.
He usually is not a threat, and he looks like he wants to be tonight. And that, again, RJ hasn't been getting as many opportunities this year because of Jackson, and Cadeau's a little bit more aggressive too.
Here's Wilkinson. The missed jumper, Ola Joseph inside, and scores with the right hand.
Ola Joseph is springy inside right there, not only going after the offensive rebound, but also the putback, showing off his athleticism in the paint.
Carolina by 6. A couple of former Vanderbilt teammates here, Lubin and Dort, and Allen wins.
So you're saying they've done that before, huh?
Played for Stackhouse last year.
Another, of course, a North Carolina legend. Yeah. So those two guys probably did that in practice a few times, a little one-on-one afterwards. They're showing it off here in Chapel Hill.
Here's Dort right back to work. It's like a big man drill in Music City. Dort trying to turn with the left hand off the glass.
Call it, please.
He's saying 1-1 right now, Coach. He and Lubin going at it.
Lee Dort is 6'10", listed at 245 from Dallas. There's the drive by Jackson, got knocked away, recovered after Stojakovic touched it. Carolina with a fresh 20. Here's R.J. Davis teeing up his first 3 of the night. Too strong. That's his first shot of the night, by the way, as well, and we're almost 8 minutes in.
But regardless as to the success of Ian Jackson, R.J. Davis is still going to remain priority #1 on any opposing team scouting report. So he's denied offering more so on the perimeter.
Campbell the jump shot, Trimble the rebound. And look at Davis fight for it. Saves for Cadeau, back for Trimble, in traffic, draws the foul. And we'll step aside. Free throws for the Tar Heels when we come back. Carolina by 6 in Chapel Hill. Well, Andrei Stojakovic, of course, is the son of 13-year NBA legend Peja Stojakovic, who is a 3-time NBA All-Star, NBA World Champion with the Dallas Mavericks, won the three-point shooting contest at the All-Star game twice. And his son is immensely talented and has been terrific to watch in his first season in the ACC, and of course transferred to Cal from Stanford. But being the most high-profile player on the team also has its benefits, Cole.
It absolutely does have its benefits. You got a young man who, and of course, we talk about this in a building where sneakers are so important here at the Smith Center. Of course, everything Jordan Brand here, and Stojakovic actually gifted his entire team new shoes. That's right, Converse. And I'm not sure if he has a deal with Converse or not. I would have supposed that he does if he's handing out free Converse to his teammates. But it shows the type of character he is. And again, he's new. They're all new. There's 11 new roster players on the Cal bench, and we consider the fact that it's a Nike school. However, Converse is owned by Nike.
Yeah, you're not.
So it's still okay to give Converse to you.
That's right. Trimble hits both free throws, by the way. Those Converse, by the way, almost look like the ones Boeheim played in.
Well, mine were $9.99. Don't go there.
But, Coach, you'll remember this for a very long time, especially under Dean Smith.
Chuck Taylor.
This was a huge Converse school.
Oh, yeah. I mean, most people were. Most people.
Yeah. Chuck Taylor.
Chuck Taylor's.
Out of the corner. Here's Ola Joseph on the drive. He bounced it off Jalen Withers to keep possession for the Bears with 7 to shoot.
There's an interesting book coming out. Sonny Vaccaro's got a book coming out in February about Legends and Souls, about his signing up 84 coaches for Nike, which changed the face of how sneaker companies did business. and it'll be an interesting read.
I'd say so.
Sonny's got a lot of stories.
And Mark Madsen and Pat Driscoll in discussion here. And the guy called the Mad Dog.
Well, and again, we're seeing this live action. You felt like it did go off of Ola Joseph, but he tries to throw it out, but he actually dribbled the basketball out prior to getting there, and it also goes off him. So two separate turnovers.
Carolina the ball.
This was coming together and getting it correct.
R.J. Davis at 3. Spins off. Sissoko the rebound, a foul on Lubin. That'll be the first on Lubin, the second on Carolina. Don't forget we got a triple header for you on ACC Network. Coming up on Saturday, 2 o'clock. We'll get you started, presented by Food Line, Deacons and Hokies from Blacksburg. And then 4 o'clock off to Syracuse for the Irish and the Orange. And we'll finish in Raleigh. These Golden Bears meet Kevin Keats and the Wolfpack, who are in Blacksburg later tonight. 6 o'clock start on ACC Network, and of course always available for you on the ESPN app.
The second leg of this trip for the Cal Bears, and in my opinion, Coach WD, I think they should have been here for the last 2 to 3 weeks. When you're not in class, it's the best time for both Cal and Stanford coming from the West Coast to stay here and play 4 to 6 games and make it just an extended road trip. Everybody wants to be in the NBA, so make it an NBA type experience.
Trimble on the drive. That's his first field goal.
It's a whole lot better than back and forth 3 times, that's for sure.
Cal and Stanford are both schools on the quarter system, by the way, for folks who don't know how that works. A little later start to the beginning of the fall campaign, thus the spring semester as well.
And they don't go back to class until next week. And so this is the third full week of ACC conference action. And this is a time where they could have just spent on the East Coast.
Here's Withers off the steal. Jalen just sneaks the dunk down with 2 hands. Largest lead of the half for the Tar Heels at 10.
Coach, that's the guys whose minutes been effective more so than anyone with a smaller lineup is Jalen Withers.
And I think it was the right move because they're just more effective offensively with the guards, and he hasn't been able to in the game with him and the big guys. So I think it's a good move.
But if you're Hubert Davis, and again, you've been through this, of course, 47 years along the sidelines as a head coach, how do you manage the personalities and the expectations of guys who were starters and now have to come off the bench?
It's tough. That's not easy. And he's a guy that thinks he should be starting, which every player should. That's a good player. That's part of coaching, part of how you handle your players. But that's not easy when you demote a kid who, but you know, they struggled earlier in the year. They were struggling to score, and now they get Jackson there full time. In the last 5 or 6 games, he's averaging 23 points a game. I mean, you have to go. Jace, the off guard. I mean, they're small. They're going to get hurt inside a little bit, but it's still a very effective transition offensive basketball team. My bigger concern with them is RJ just hasn't shot the ball well this year. And you look at this game, the 2 best players are 0 for 8 right now.
Petritus, a couple of free throws here. He got 1 of the 2. Carolina's had 7 guys score. One is named R.J. Davis, to Jim's point. Tar Heels with a 9-point lead. The foul, by the way, down at the other end was on Trimble. It's his first, just the 3rd on Carolina. So you got Withers, Washington, Cadeau, Trimble, and Captain Jack on the floor, and Cadeau lobbed it to nobody. I think he thought somebody was cutting to the basket.
He thought it was going to be Jalen Washington, but give Campbell a lot of credit for getting over and taking away the lane of Washington to be able to go. But that's a scenario where for Cadeau, just get a shot up on the glass, allow Jay Wash to have an opportunity to go get the offensive rebound.
Cal touched it last. It'll stay with the Tar Heels. And here's Trimble on the catch with 8 to shoot. Working against Blackshear. Seth into traffic. Oh, what a tricky move calling the score for Trimble.
But he did that the entire non-conference. In Maui, when they were there, he was the best player for North Carolina on the island. And so when you consider another young man who is, you know, called it demoted to the bench coming off, it's going to be interesting to see how he develops in this new role, especially after coming back from injury.
Lead is 11 here now for Carolina as we work toward 9 minutes in this first half. Shot clock at 5, and Ritas Petritus. Ola Joseph for 3, and it rings the bell.
They needed that one.
Ola Joseph Joseph's giving them good minutes off the bench, coming in and the offensive rebound put back, now knocking down the three.
There goes Cadeau, trying to get it back to Washington. He'll save it for Jackson. Ian, a pull up at 16 feet is good. 7 for Ian Jackson.
I love the relationship between he and Hubert Davis. Coach talked to us about every night. 12:30 a.m. he gets a text message from Captain Jack saying, "Coach, did I get better today? What can I do to make this team better and make myself better as an individual?" And of course, no coach is asleep, so
he's up.
Rest.
He's up till 1 or 2.
Yeah, they have some dialogue late night.
This gives him something to do.
Washington in the corner for Withers, and that'll be an offensive foul. Petraitis stepped in front. Jalen Withers commits his first. It'll be the 4th on the Tar Heels, and that'll get R.J. Davis back into the ballgame for Carolina for Trimble, and Andrei Stojakovic for the Golden Bears.
Coach, outside of Buddy and Jimmy, any of your players ever text you at 12:30 a.m.?
The only one was Paul Harris. He used to text me at 2 or 3 in the morning because he was still up. And I said, we do have a game.
Good there, Coach.
We do have a game.
Good.
Come on, get to sleep.
Stojakovic trying to find his way to the basket, put it up in traffic. Sissoko, the stick back. Sissoko's got 6. He's had 2 double-figure rebound games this year, including 1 against Virginia. But a half dozen points is heavy work in the scoring column for Maudie.
And they're all second-chance buckets.
And there's Cadeau adding to his total.
But you can see Cal daring Cadeau to shoot the basketball. They continue to go under the screens, even at the free throw line, making him have to be a scorer and not a distributor.
Sissoko's had 4 double-figure games this year. But back to work again. He traveled that time. And Maudie comes up hobbling here a little bit. That'll get us to a timeout on Cal's 5th turnover. Well, Petraitis found Joshua Ola Joseph, who knocked down the 3 for the Bears. And then Ian Jackson has got 7 in the first half for the Heels. Well, we've seen kind of both sides of the struggle tonight. First, let's go with Andrei Stojakovic.
Well, Stojakovic has been, when you're at the top of the charts on the scouting report, a lot of attention is paid to you, and you can see everyone in the white jerseys paying attention to Stojakovic, and everyone in the arena paying attention to Ian Jackson. Elliot Cadeau getting up to 3 as well, off to a good start offensively for him. And again, when North Carolina has this type of shooting, they're often able to be successful.
So Stojakovic is scoreless, and so's R.J. Davis for Carolina, Jim.
Yeah, it's tough when you come into a place and you're a young player, which Stojakovic is, and miss a couple. Then a guy hits a 3 on you. Wheels start turning. It'll be interesting to see how he kind of recovers from it, because he is a really good player.
Cade Tyson's onto the floor for the first time tonight. Didn't play Saturday in the win at State. There's a teardrop by Cadeau. Got his own rebound, almost scored it. And he and Blacksher hit the deck hard.
But you can see Cal intent on making Cadeau a scorer. They're taking away those passing lanes and forcing Cadeau to have to take the shot on his own.
And Dort just traveled again, I think. Yep, Ted Valentine the call from out at midcourt. 6th turnover on Cal. By the way, Corey, you missed this earlier. Tearful reunion we had here. I mean, the minute Ted Valentine hit the floor.
Yeah, he's cost me in so many games. He has to be nice to me now. 30 years of bad calls.
Oh my God.
Not everyone.
So he took off the first 17. He wasn't around for the first 17. It was the last 30.
Seems like 40, but it's probably
seems
30.
like 40.
Here's R.J. Davis to step in 2. Rattles off, and Campbell the rebound.
And R.J.'s gotten very good looks throughout this game. So, I mean, again, he can't complain about the looks. He's got just unable to get him to go down.
R.J.'s 0 for 4 here in this first half. In again, and look at Washington do a good job against Lee Dort. Here's Davis backing out on the bounce.
You know what would really help RJ is to either get to the free throw line or see a layup go through. I mean, regardless of how great of a player and scorer you are, it's always good to see it easy to go through.
But good playmaking by him there.
Absolutely. And again, he's in the top 10 in points and assists in the ACC. RJ's a distributor. He's not just a guy that scores points. So he's going to make the right play.
Well, he's gotten Washington some great looks. 4 now for Jalen Washington. 15 to shoot for Stojakovic. 5.5 to go in the first half. Andre on the drive and the bump and the foul by Jalen Washington. And here's our Tier 4 reunion, by the way, just so you can get a look at this.
You notice I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah.
You did great, Coach. That is different from the conversations that I used to see from you all when I'm calling your games.
Yeah,
WD, let me tell you this. During COVID, Coach is wearing masks.
Yeah.
I go to Syracuse multiple times.
Sure.
The second time I go, my guy has on a clear mask.
He does,
And he was the best lip read as we see Stojakovic with his first bucket of the game.
That'll get him going, baby.
My guy was the best lip read of all time on the sideline when it comes to college coaches.
I never said this. I thought the clear mask was intentional so they could still see what he was saying.
No, it was.
Yeah.
It absolutely was that because, again, it wasn't just hearing it. You have to see it in the way that he was saying it to his players.
Well, there were no fans, so you could hear it, too. You're not only liberal, you could hear it. I was admonished every night when I got home.
I'm sure.
Here's Davis now working on Blackshear. Boy, Cal's done a really good job of staying in front of R.J. Davis in this first half. Jackson was 7 to shoot. Now here's Washington over Dort. And another jump shot for Jalen Washington.
And we talked about that today, and Hubert's talking about him. He can shoot.
Yeah.
Shoot it.
Hubert would like him to shoot some threes, Jim.
Well, that's a good. Let's go for 15 first, and then let's move back from there.
But, Coach, how about this? How about when you have a game like Jalen Washington had last time out, his first double-double, the game-winning bucket and game-winning shot? How much confidence does that give a player like Washington who has struggled at times throughout the season?
Well, you can see it tonight. I mean, he thinks he's going to make it. Before he was shooting like he thought he might miss.
Look at the tough drive by Cadeau. Elliot Cadeau's got 11 in this first half now.
But again, when you go out and have 11 assists in a game, and teams see, okay, he wants to get his teammates involved, they oftentimes force you to be a scorer and see if you're willing to take those shots.
Wilkinson, another 3. Jeremiah's having a hard time, averaging 12.5 against the league.
Jeremiah, a Georgia guy, so you got to imagine how big of a bucket list item this is to be able to play here in the Dean Dome.
Absolutely knocked away from behind. It'll stay with Carolina. We go to the under 4. We're going to get substitutions both ways. The Tar Heels working on a 12-point lead here in this first half against the Golden Bears of Cal. A quick check of our game summary. Elliot Cadeau is already to double figures for the 4th time in the last 8 ball games. And Cadeau is coming off a 4-point, 11-assist game on Saturday in Raleigh. By the way, his 11 assists, that was the second time this year he's had 10 or more assists in a game. And here's tonight's, if you will, timeout for trivia question, okay? Who was the last Carolina player to have 2 games or multi-games of 10 or more assists in a season?
And here's a guy that was born and brought up in.
No. This is not historical. And I will say this. The answer is a player who's a colleague of ours at ACC Network.
Oh, well, that'd be Joe.
Joe Barry.
Why would you give away that?
That's an easy. That was too big a hint.
Yeah.
You're not stupid.
The answer is not Joe Barry.
Wow.
What?
Okay, smart guys.
Theo.
Davis, right side, Tremble a triple. And Stojakovic, the backside rebound. As they say, we'll give you the answer at the next dead ball.
Wait a minute, it's not Theo?
The answer is Theo.
Okay, I just said Theo. You didn't just act like you didn't hear my answer.
Well, it is a shocker because Theo wasn't known for his passing.
By the way, we've got ACC women's basketball doubleheader tomorrow night. Nothing but net crew, by the way, is in South Bend for Georgia Tech, Notre Dame, and that's followed by Cal and Duke and Durham right here on ACCN, streaming live on the ESPN app. Blackshear the drive. Sissoko another rebound inside, and the stick back over the freshman Brown. Maury Sissoko's got 8 on his 4th field goal.
And now 9 second chance points for Cal. They've been all over the offensive glass to 6 offensive boards against Carolina.
Tar Heels by 10. Drake Powell back on the floor. James Brown is a freshman from Aurora, Illinois. And R.J. Davis, you know.
James Brown played for Link last year, of course, with Trey Johnson, who Corey getting the job done at Texas, and LeBaron Philon at Alabama, elite backcourt. So he's used to playing with the lead backcourt players.
Yep. Oh, here's Blackshear. Rolled it out of there. Sissoko battles. He'll roll to the deck. And oh, look at R.J. Davis fight. Gets the held ball. And the held ball will go to Carolina on possession with 2:38 to play. Hey, it's not a scoring night so far for number 4 in the white, but it is a hustle night. It's a make a difference night, right?
Let me tell you who loved that hustle. The guy on the sideline for the Cal Bears, Mark Madsen, a.k.a. Mad Dog.
Yep.
He loved that hustle right there. He was all the way up to half court cheering on his guy, Sissoko, because at the end of the day, that was an offensive rebound attempt. It wasn't as though they didn't get a shot up.
Yep.
And he's going after the basketball. Even though it becomes a tied loose ball, it gets a possession arrow back to the Bears.
Coach, here's your zone, by the way.
Wait. Not his zone.
Not your zone, but
It's a little different, but it's a zone.
Yeah, I just said a zone.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
But no, because Mark Madsen came up today and said, Coach, I wish I had your zone.
That's true, too. And Davis tried to make the play to the slashing Jackson. Turned it over. Here's Stojakovic, who's got just the single field goal. Back for a 3 by Blackshear. And here's Trimble running the floor. 2 minutes to go in his first half, and Carolina still with the 10-point advantage. Davis trying to weave through. Jackson travel. Carolina will turn it over. That's their 5th of the first half.
So the zone worked a couple times, so it's something you want to keep in the back of your mind. Late game situations where it gets close, you go back to it.
You know, Coach, on this end of the floor, do you like the shots that the Cal's getting?
Defense is pretty good. With Stojakovic isn't scoring, I mean, they need him to be a big scorer. And Carolina's doing a good job defensively.
Yeah, Tar Heels #1 field goal percentage defense in conference play, and also the #5 scoring defense in conference play. Building a reputation at that end of the floor, Corey.
Well, and that's the way they were successful 2 seasons ago when they went to the Final Four, playing the national championship game with Hubert Davis. So you consider, you know, it is a priority for Coach Davis and his staff. It's not always executed by the guys on the floor.
Tar Heels just they're 7 from the floor, and we're going to get a foul before the play inside. And here are the numbers. First, and T2 on blocks per game. Fouls on Cadeau, by the way. His second, 16 fouls. So Elliot Cadeau's going to come out.
But I believe that the defensive numbers are a byproduct of having smaller, quicker guys on the perimeter that can actually get out and guard their yard. They can defend the basketball. They don't have the same rim protection that they've had in the past. But you got guys like Drake Powell and Seth Trimble, Ian Jackson on the floor. You got elite defenders on the floor.
Here's Jeremiah Wilkinson, freshman against freshman here with Powell guarding, and now Davis picks up. 7 to shoot. Wilkinson almost turned it over. Sissoko rolls around. 2 to shoot. Ola Joseph and 1 on the loop and foul.
That is winning basketball by Mady Sissoko, getting on the floor after the loose ball, which looked to be a fast break in Carolina's direction. You see the deflection, but look where Sissoko comes from. Guys in white running past the basketball as he dives on the floor. The presence of mind to get it to Ola Joseph, who finishes through the contact. And look at how his teammates are celebrating the effort by Sissoko.
And that's a game-changing play. You go from giving up 2 to having a chance to get 3, and it just keeps you close. And that's what you want to do when you're on the road. Try to stay close and hang in there with the team.
The 3-point trip, Ola Joseph knocks it down. He's got 8 now in this first half.
And you see the Bears extending their pressure. The last time they did this, they dropped back and went man-to-man. Now it looks like they're going to stay in the zone defensively. So Mark Madsen trying to switch it up.
3-ball Davis.
That's the way they get out of the zone.
R.J. Davis' 35th 3 of the year. Carolina back to a 10-point lead with about a 2.5-second differential shot clock to game clock.
And WD, I believe that's R.J. Davis' 309th three-point field goal of his career, which is significant.
Yes, we'll show you the details here in a second. And we're going to get a turnover. Stojakovic trying to run it down. He'll recover against Trimble and fire
there with, I'm not sure he knew that there was 10 shots on the shot clock.
And here's Trimble on the run out, and he lost it.
That was a
The clock was running down, had no idea. He still had 10 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Fires from half court, but the Tar Heels end up giving it back off of the turnover.
And ball inbounds to the Bears with 5 seconds. Here's Blackshear. Jalen Washington out front, and Blackshear still fires, and air ball is one at the hole. What a weird, bulky end to the first 20 minutes, guys.
Carolina's defense has been really good individually. Stojakovic just hasn't been able to get by plays or make shots. And, you know, you have to give credit to Carolina's defense in those situations.
The Bears trying to make Elliot Cadeau be a scorer, not a facilitator. And he is obliged to that. 11 points for him in the first half to extend the lead to double figures for the Tar Heels.
39-29 at the break. Let's go back to our ACC Network studios. Taylor Tannenbaum and old number 1, Michael Carter-Williams. Game 1 of our ACC Network doubleheader. We get ready for the second half at Chapel Hill at Smith Center. North Carolina 39 and California 29. Welcome back courtside. Great to be with Corey Alexander and, of course, the Hall of Fame coach Jim Boeheim. What'd you think of that opening 20 minutes?
I thought Carolina's defense was good, especially on Stojakovic. He just got into one-on-one situations against guards, and he couldn't get by. They got to get him going. You don't really think RJ is going to keep going bad either.
Yeah.
So whichever one of those guys get going, going to make a big difference.
That's part of tonight's Food Line Food for Thought, right?
And when you talk about Food Line, first of all, how long has Food Line been associated with the ACC? As long as I can remember, the ACC and Food Line have been a great team. And our Food for Thought, when with Food Line, when we're talking about the ACC tonight, you got to consider the fact that Elliot Cadeau, who handed out 11 assists last game against NC State, the Cal Bears have forced him to be a scorer. And he is obliged. He's been getting downhill, attacking the basket, getting to the rim, finishing, and being more of a threat offensively. And on the other end, Mady Sissoko on the offensive glass has been a monster. The Bears have out-rebounded offensively. The Tar Heels 7-3, and Mady Sissoko's hustle, his effort has been infectious to his teammates. If they can get some better shooting, they can get right back into this game.
It's our Food Line Food for Thought, and Andrej Stojakovic has found the road a little hard here. Only 2 points, a field goal. And for Stojakovic, the second half against Virginia Tech last week, he went for 22, Corey. He's got it in the tank now to erupt in the next 20.
I knew you were just going to say Tobacco Road, found the Tobacco Road hard. Of course, he's had a great game at Clemson.
Yeah, 30 at the Tigers.
But that's not Tobacco Road.
Not yet. Here's Campbell. Bears trailing 10s. We start this second half. First meeting since late December 1998. Cal won the last meeting 78-71. It's their only meeting in a series that dates back to 1972.
Look at the box scores on that one. My guy Brad Frederick on the Carolina bench.
There's a little floater by Blackshear, slapped out. They chase it toward the bench. Ian Jackson with a serve. Cadeau back for the captain. All the way to the basket. Can't finish. Petrides the rebound.
Contact there.
Boy, Jackson comes up. I think he felt that a little bit on the fall. Blackshear a 3. And slapped around again. Petrides one more. Pushes it up and off the window.
Another offensive rebound, adding to the second chance points. Now an 11-2 advantage in the Bears' favor.
8-point game. Minute gone second half. RJ Davis just 3 points in the contest. 1 for 5 from the floor.
And with him being 1 for 5, still the best shooting first half for the Tar Heels this season.
Jackson working on Stojakovic. Shot clock at 3. Davis from a way out, and it will hit off the back rim. Sissoko at the falling rebound. Drake Powell draws Stojakovic here.
And Drake Powell, the biggest of the guards in the starting lineup for the Tar Heels, so matches up size-wise very well with Stojakovic, and they made it difficult for him on the offensive end of the floor.
Petrides an air ball. Here's RJ Davis. Washington for Jackson. Petrides on the switch. And Cadeau. turned it over. Petrides. And he will foul him on the drive, and Aridus Petrides will get a couple of free throws on the third foul against Elliot Cadeau, first on Carolina here in the second half.
You know, and again, this is something that's really been an issue for Elliot Cadeau all season long, and especially off of scenarios like that. I can remember one instance in Miami early in the Maui in the Michigan State game. He got in foul trouble early. Plus, when the turnover happened, there were guys in the crowd behind us yelling, "Let him go," because they understand how important Elliot Cadeau is staying on the floor, and now he has to sub out with the 3 fouls.
Yep, and that brings Trimble back into the lineup. And now cookies are on the line if Petrides misses this. Oh, yeah.
And his shot doesn't look good either.
It looks good to Carolina fans who get cookies because of it, and I am in on that, my friends.
A layup by Washington goes bounding.
Can somebody make a basket here?
Stojakovic against Trimble. Andre. Boy, really skilled Corey where he is on the floor.
But that's a bad trap.
They didn't need to.
You don't need to. Seth Trimble has Stojakovic under control right there, and you leave with Stojakovic being able to see over Trimble where he doesn't have that size advantage over Drake Powell.
And by the way, the Golden Bears want to run, and then R.J. Davis hit the floater. He's got 5. Cal had outscored Carolina 4-0 to start the half. Here's Stojakovic again, double teamed. Back for Sissoko, who will push it up and in.
Every time you double team, you leave that guy. And, you know, it's good strategy, but it's also not good strategy. They're doing a pretty good job straight up on Stojakovic. You may not need to double team.
Here's Stojakovic against Jackson. Ian right down the lane, took the contact, and will draw the foul. Second time he's taken a spill under the bucket here in the second half.
But we talked about in the open, Stojakovic is more than a scorer. He's a young man that can pass the ball extremely well. You look at his size. When Jalen Washington goes over, he's watching the entire time. Drops the dime to Sissoko once, and then once again twice. Matty Sissoko. And he's been an offensive punch that I'm sure the Bears weren't expecting making the trip east.
So Jackson at the line.
Sometimes a guy like Manny didn't get a lot of opportunities at Michigan State, but he was learning. One of the great coaches in the country, you know he's working in practice. So when he gets an opportunity now to play, he can step up and show what he can do. And he's a really physical inside presence.
Well, and how much of that has to do also with he's going up against Jalen Washington, who's younger and not as strong to be able to contend with him in there. But, I mean, Stojakovic with a number of great passes. Even though he's not scoring, he's still helping his team be successful.
Well, Carolina's going to have a problem in some games because of the boards. You know, with this small of a lineup, it's just going to happen.
Blacksher. Here's Campbell on the lob for Sissoko. One off his season high against Cornell. Fall away with the right hand. Lubin the rebound for the Tar Heels.
That's really what you don't want. Just get on the offensive glass. Get the guards moving, get to the basket, and get your stuff on the offensive glass.
Here's Lubin setting the screen. Davis foul line. Leaves it for Powell. Long 3. Good. Drake Powell's got 5.
And we talked about Stojakovic. Let's give R.J. Davis that same credit. Even though he's not scoring, helping his teammates out with all the attention that he draws, dropping dimes.
11-point lead for the Tar Heels after Drake Powell's 18th 3 of the year. Petrides tries to answer. Cannot. Here's Davis. 3 on 4. Slapped out of there from behind by DJ Campbell. Going to stay with Carolina. Tar Heels with an 11-point lead.
Drake Powell getting it from outside. R.J. Davis touching the paint, finding Powell on the outside, lining up the 3-ball, knocking it down to stretch the lead for the Heels.
Ohio State, scoop and score. The dream season continues.
Ohio State, Notre Dame, can't wait.
The CFP National Championship presented by AT&T begins Monday at 7:30 p.m.
Well, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta It is a tough ticket Monday night for the national championship.
Are you going to mention that last week when the three of us were together and I picked Notre Dame and Coach picked Penn State?
I don't remember that.
Of course you don't remember because you lost. It is absolutely on tape. ESPN Plus.
I want a red flag. I want the red flag.
We can find it on ESPN Plus.
There's the red flag.
Stick back. I'll get you poor folks out of this right here.
Please, give me a review.
Powell missed the 2 shots. Carolina still got an 11-point lead. And Blackshear on the hard drive. And Sissoko the dunk.
Sissoko has been a problem for the Tar Heels.
14 now for Monty.
His offensive players are driving. He's relocating himself to the open area to be able to catch and finish.
And he's much better doing that than trying to go one-on-one down there. He's a much better finisher off the rebound or off the bounce pass back.
There goes the drive and the score by Jackson through the tight quarters.
Jackson is just way ahead of most freshmen. He not only shoots it, he puts it on the floor, and his defense has been really good as well.
Campbell and the Bears try to tempo down here a little bit, trailing 11 again. And Davis reached in, caused that. It'll stay with Cal, but a nice add by R.J. Davis on the defensive side.
Yeah, R.J.'s doing the other things.
Yeah.
He's not scoring the basketball the way that he normally does, but he's doing the other things, getting in, digging, making sure that guys aren't comfortable on the offensive end playing against him. Also distributing the basketball.
There's Stojakovic over Powell. Back rim miss, and a scramble for the loose ball. Held ball is going to go to Carolina. Quick reminder to you, full night of ACC women's basketball, and tomorrow night it's capped by Nothing But Net live from South Bend. You see Justin Walters, Hall of Fame coach Muffet McGraw, Kelly Gramlich, Ivory Latta will be there Thursday night, 10 o'clock, following our doubleheader right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app.
WD, best backcourt in the ACC, period. Men's, women's, doesn't matter. Hannah Hidalgo, Olivia Miles.
Yeah.
I mean, must-see TV. Whenever they are on the screen, absolutely be sure to be watching. They are must-see TV.
EL's got a terrific team.
What a difference with women's basketball. It started with Caitlin Clark, but now it's a lot of different players are stepping up. Yep. It's great for the game.
It's a great league, too, by the way.
Yes, it
is.
We're going to see some zone defense here again. It's worked. Coach coming back to it.
So here's Lubin now. Remember, Washington over there on the bench. Stojakovic is on the wing where Davis is, ironically. 4 to shoot. Look at the hard drive and shot by Trimble that rattled out. Here's Andre Stojakovic, who still has just the 2 points in the ball game. He'll fire inside. Sissoko, the catch and flush. He's got 16 now. That ties his career high from when he was at Michigan State against Kentucky. Got to a 9-point Carolina lead.
The way he's playing right now doesn't look like he's going to slow down at all. But now Lula coming in with the second chance opportunity, giving Sissoko a little bit of a taste of his own medicine. But Sissoko went for the block shot. So as an opposite big, you've got to crash the glass anytime the guy guarding you tries to block a shot.
There goes Stojakovic, rejected by Lubin.
Unless they're successful like Lubin has been for the second time in this game.
Jackson in the corner. Powell, a shot fake, drive. Tried to feed Van Allen. He caught it and scored. Largest lead of the night now for the Tar Heels. .13-point advantage. Blackshear. Here's Wilkinson from the corner. And Trimble had it. And Pat Driscoll is going to whistle a foul here.
Van Allen Lubin getting the job done on both ends of the floor. First the block shot, denying Stojakovic at the rim, and then showing off great hands. This is a tough pass in tight quarters. Still able to gather it, finish it, and helping Carolina on both ends of the floor to build their largest lead of the game.
It's funny, we started this night talking about Jackson and Stojakovic as scorers. We should talk about them a little bit about what they do defensively, too, I think. Our best on-ball defender.
Yeah, I mean, they're defending. When you get your 2 best offensive players struggling, I mean, that's going to be a difference maker. Carolina's just been able to overcome it with other guys, and Cal hasn't.
Davis had that one roll off the rim. Here's Wilkinson, the freshman. Powder Springs, Georgia. He's had a really nice debut in the ACC, averaging almost 13 a game for the Bears in conference play.
Yeah, the leading scoring freshman for a freshman that has not started a game this year, 12.5 points per game. And he's normally been instant offense for the Bears coming off the bench.
Trimble against Blacksher. Here's R.J. Davis. Boy, Wilkinson played over the top of the Van Allen Lubin screen. And Withers from the corner. Rattles on the third.
Oh, when he makes shots like that, they're a little different. Again, R.J. Davis making a good pass, good play. If you're not scoring, do something else.
And as Withers and Van Allen Lubin on the floor together, now you can play the two bigs. Carolina has the versatility to be able to do that, especially when you consider defensively.
Foul on Withers. That'll get us to a break. Nickel dimer on Withers. 16-point lead for the Tar Heels in Chapel Hill. Well, Saturday in Boston, Cooper Flagg, as Corey likes to say last night, as close to a homecoming game as he's going to get in the ACC for the Blue Devils. Duke and BC Saturday night, 8 o'clock on ESPN.
My God, Dave O'Brien on the call for that one as Cooper Flagg earlier this week broke the freshman ACC scoring record, 42 points for him. I can remember when Harrison Barnes went for 40 in the ACC tournament against Clemson.
Yep.
So,
and you know, at Boston College, there's going to be at least 2,000 people drive down there from Maine.
well, I actually talked to Kelly Flagg last night, Cooper's mom, and what the friends and family did, believe it or not, they bought season tickets for Boston College games because it was cheaper to buy season tickets for the games than it would be to buy the one ticket for Duke. As crazy as that sounds.
That does sound
I
crazy.
believe it. I believe it.
But they're going to have there will be more Duke fans at Conte Forum on Saturday night than I'm sure we'll see.
Oh, no question.
Boston College Eagles fans.
Christian Tucker's foul on the drive by Trimble. Tucker's a senior transfer out of Mesa, Arizona, played last year at Texas San Antonio. And here's Trimble at the line. He's 2 for 2 in the first half, has 6 tonight. And the first free throw is good. By the way, they refreshed the net down to our left during the break.
That net doesn't look very giving.
I'll tell you now, the Smith Center maintenance folks here, that that guy right there gets a little something extra in the check tonight, guys.
Absolutely.
It's a quick change there.
Yep.
I didn't think he was going to get it done.
There was some doubt at the table about whether that would happen during the commercial break.
Yeah, Corey was all down.
Never doubted it. Carolina on a 9-0 run after the free throws to make it an 18-point game. Biggest of the night for the Heels. Cal's missed their last 4 and a wedgie for Ola Joseph.
Cal cannot shoot threes, and that's about all they're getting in some of these possessions. They're playing good defense.
1 of 17 from beyond the arc for the Cal Bears. Struggle outside.
I think they made their first one, didn't they? Real early in the game.
Ola Josephs was the only one that's made one for Cal.
Yep. Petritus fall away against Trimble. Missed anyway. Boy, been a hard night for Rydas Petritus. Since he's come into the ACC, his conference numbers have dipped down from where he was in the regular season. Transferred from Air Force. He averaged 16.6 rebounds, shot 49% from the floor, 35 from 3 last year. But the step up from the Mountain West coach into this league has been a little rugged.
You never know. It's step up. Some guys can make it. Probably half can't make it. But you don't read about those guys too much.
Well, I'll tell you what, air is different at Air Force, though. Had training camp there twice with the Denver Nuggets. And let me tell you, 7,000 feet above sea level, it's hard to breathe up there. Shooting the basketball is different.
Here's Campbell the other way for the Bears. And they're going to ticket him for the travel there. So the turnover will give it back to Carolina. And it gives us a chance to tell you about the triple header AC Network on Saturday. Wake Forest at Virginia Tech at 2 o'clock, presented by Food Lion. Then Notre Dame is at Syracuse at 4. And we'll close the night for you in Raleigh, Cal, and NC State at 6 from the Lenovo Center. All on ACC Network, streaming live on the ESPN app.
Now, let me make sure I saw that correctly. Is Stanford playing at home this weekend? This week?
No, Stanford's here. They're at Wake Forest tonight, and they're here on Saturday against Carolina.
Okay, I thought they traveled together, so it was okay.
Yeah, they come east. They don't necessarily play the same teams.
Correct.
Sometimes they swap, sometimes they don't.
Correct, but they're always on the East Coast at the same time.
That is correct.
Well, further east. Let's not say East Coast.
Yeah, and don't get it confused with the trip to Dallas when both will play SMU at some point. Here's Cadeau. Look at this little soft shoe in the lane and then missed badly on the jumper.
But look at how they continue to go under the screen, even though you're only 10 feet away from the basket, forcing Cadeau to take the shot and be a scorer compared to a facilitator.
Campbell to pull up. And the rebound from Trimble.
I think they put a lid on that basket.
Look out, Trimble, and here's R.J. Davis, and Dort going to be called for the foul. Big lead, Dort. This will be his first and the fourth on the Bears here in the second half.
And this is the Seth Trimble we saw throughout the entire non-conference. Getting rebounds, pushing the basketball, putting pressure on the opposing team defensively. The nice find to R.J. Davis. And now, are they just making sure this was a shooting foul? That was a dangerous play.
Yeah.
Dort isn't a small guy. R.J.
That could have been tough.
Yeah.
Well, you can't make the foul more severe just because the guy's big.
Yeah.
I mean, he's trying to make a play, just got caught off balance.
Lead Dort.
Take the 2 fouls and be happy.
I say this just because of his presence. He is 6'10", listed at 245. He looks much bigger than that.
And R.J. Davis is listed at 6 feet, and he's much smaller than that. So therefore, that would have been a tough fall. I mean, fortunately, Dort didn't fall down on R.J.
True.
We may be going to have to get R.J. off the floor.
Free throw good by Davis. He's got 7 in the game. There's Lee Dort from Dallas, who transferred in from Vanderbilt.
And you see all the smiles on the bench.
Yeah.
They're going to replay that multiple times in film session so R.J. can see it.
Stojakovic's pass taken away by Trimble. He's got Cadeau and Washington. And Jackson. Look away for Jalen Washington. Blocked by Dort. Saved by Jalen Washington.
I'll give a block.
Cadeau. Layup good.
And I love how Cadeau is now going to the basket, looking to be a scorer. Not looking to give the basketball away. They're going to force him to score. Go get a bucket.
Carolina by 22. Wilkinson bodying Cadeau. That's an offensive foul. First on Jeremiah Wilkinson. It's the 5th on Cal.
Carolina's defense is just taking Cal out of everything they're doing.
Yep, it's a 22-point game, 61-39. Timeout on the floor. Called at the Cal bench. Back after this. Well, like all of us, and certainly in the West Coast and in Berkeley, the folks at Cal and the athletic family there, of course, thinking about everyone affected by the fires in Southern California and the brave first responders, and that's the tweet they put out. And all of us at ESPN hope, if you can, you'll help support the American Red Cross and their mission in Southern California. redcross.org/ESPN. You can use the QR code on the screen. You can make the donation tonight to help support the efforts there. And we were talking last night. We all know people in Southern California. It's devastating, Jim, what's happened out there.
People have everything tied up in their house. You know, people talk about the rich people. Normal people are living there.
Yep.
And they're losing everything they've had. And the chance of getting the right insurance and all that and how that works. Oh.
Yep. Thoughts and prayers with everybody there as we play tonight here in Chapel Hill. Carolina by 22 and Ian Jackson a 3. Recovered on the baseline by Withers. Here's Jalen Washington. And Withers going to give Carolina a 3rd crack at this.
I love we talked with Hubert Davis earlier today, and he was encouraging Jalen Washington to shoot threes. He wants him to shoot a couple in practice every night, even if he misses them, to make sure he becomes more confident of taking those shots. As Elliot Cadeau gets to the basket uncontested once again. I believe Cadeau's figured out how Cal is trying to play him, and he's taking advantage of it.
15-0 run for Carolina in the last 5.5 minutes.
You can't let a guy like that get driving space, and he's getting driving space every time.
Ola Joseph from the foul line area, straight layup.
But as we were talking about Jalen Washington and Hubert Davis wanting him to get up a couple threes, he said never have to ask Ian Jackson to shoot threes.
or many other players.
Exactly.
Whether they should or shouldn't, Jim, right?
That's right.
Here's Trimble with the left hand. Sissoko the rebound. Ola Joseph tees one up. And the long rebound taken out of there by Trimble. Look at Seth Trimble now, and a little euro in the bucket. He had Christian Tucker beat, and it's his third field goal.
I'm not sure how many games that you have to start or come off the bench to be considered for sixth man of the year. However, Seth Trimble would absolutely be in that conversation if he can get his offensive scoring back the way that he was playing in the non-conference before having to miss 3 games due to injury. He could absolutely be sixth man of the year in the league.
Sissoko back out front. Here's Tucker's three, and it's good. 6th three of the year for Christian Tucker.
And that was a better look than they've been getting.
Jackson, Trimble, Washington, Cadeau, and Withers for Carolina. And Andre Stojakovic still over there with 2 points, by the way, as Cadeau missed the layup. Here's a pull-up 2 by Blackshear, and Stojakovic on the stick back gets his second field goal.
WD, I shot that shot a lot, the pull-up 3 in transition. However, I made a few of them too.
It's a hard shot, I think.
But it's a harder shot when you haven't made any of them. Now, would you agree with that?
That's true. But it's a hard shot. I don't like that shot. It's not an easy shot.
Look at Jackson challenging Sissoko and gets the roll.
That's a hard shot. However, Ian Jackson makes it look so easy. We talked about his explosive athleticism.
13 for Ian Jackson, coach.
Kid's really good.
I'll say.
You know what I love even more? He's got a personality to match it. It's not just about his game. He's an infectious type of personality.
Look out now. Trimble to the basket.
That's goaltending.
That should have been a goaltending call. Looked like that might have been in the cylinder.
It was. Backboard.
Stojakovic. Tucker. Right-hand runner spins in. Christian Tucker with 5. And the other way goes Trimble, and he held onto the rim to keep from falling after the contact from Sissoko.
Surprised this was not called, because you can always go over and review it once it's called. As it goes up, Seth Trimble gets it on the glass, and then, even with it not being touched, touching the backboard is a goaltend.
Yeah.
Just ahead of 5 minutes to go. Look at the defensive numbers tonight, Jim and Corey, for Carolina and what they've done to Cal. And here's the other thing, too. The brand identity of North Carolina, now, in the last decades, not necessarily been defense. Now it might be.
Well, Hubert made a little change the first year. They were pretty good. They did some things defensively. But this team's much better coming the perimeter. Their weakness is going to be inside. But they're good on the perimeter. They've got good. They're guarding the ball, and they're making it tough for Stojakovic. Is a really good player, and he just cannot get any space out here, mainly because he's bigger and he's going against smaller guards, and he can't get by him.
I believe that Carolina's guards are committed to defending. The problem is they don't often finish defensive plays because they don't have the rebounding and the rim protection that they've had throughout the past. I think that's what's missing from their defense, but you've got to give their perimeter players a lot of credit for the way they're getting out, sliding their feet, staying in front of a great offensive player like Stojakovic and many of the guys that they've seen throughout this year.
And it's not that Cal's missing shots open. They're not getting a lot of many good shots.
Tar Heels go back to the man. Drake Powell's got the assignment on Stojakovic.
But you see the trap coming immediately once he turns his back.
Petragas down the lane, and Powell will snatch the rebound away.
And that's a great defensive possession because you're able to finish it with the defensive board after forcing the guy that you want to take the shot to miss.
Here's R.J. Davis against Wilkinson. Now back to Ian Jackson. He'll work through traffic. Took the contact. And the foul. Captain Jack. 8.5, 15 in the game. The foul on Sissoko will be his 4th.
And you look at the turnaround, the last 6 games coming in here, he's averaging 23 points a game.
But Coach, his ability to get downhill, we've already talked about his shooting. But his athleticism and ability to get downhill, and that's not a small bump he's taken there from Sissoko. That's a strong defender, but still the concentration to be able to get it on the glass and get a bucket.
And it's unusual to see a freshman do that. That's usually like a second-year progression. He's already in that.
But, you know, New York City guy, you've recruited a lot of those guys. You know, Pearl. I mean, come on, let's talk about, you know about New York City guards.
All freshmen are not created alike.
This is true.
Wilkinson the pull-up, and Lubin another rebound. We saw skip for Jackson in transition. Look out, Corey.
Yeah, we saw Ian and Drake and James Brown, a couple guys getting out of the car earlier today. And I made sure to ask who was driving.
Yeah.
Making sure Captain Jack was not driving. I'm not riding with the New York City guy. They don't get their license in high school.
Stojakovic as 6.
He initially says, I can drive. I'm like, yeah, okay. If you say so. You can drive to the basket. That's about it.
Under 4 to go. Here's Cadeau. Carolina with a 22-point advantage and turnover on the dribble. Campbell and the Bears running the other way. Here's Tucker. And Dort hit the rim. That'll be a held ball. Carolina will get it on alternating possession. Lead Dort gives it back to the Heels, who are on their way to the 12th win of the year. Their 4th straight and 5th in the ACC.
Taylor Tannenbaum here, hanging out in studio. Coming up on ACC Network 9:05 tip, SMU at Virginia. There's Boopy Miller getting ready to take on the Hoos. Wes's former backcourt mate at Wake Forest, Hunter Sal's already had a night. See what Boopy can do.
Taylor, thanks. More coming up with Eric Freed and Josh Pastner tonight from Charlottesville. Here's lead brackets, not Jimmy brackets, Corey. Joey brackets. He's got Duke a 1, Louisville a 7, Clemson an 8, Pitt and Carolina a 9, SMU next 4 out.
You know what gets me?
What's that?
This year has been historically the worst year that the ACC has seen in a very long time.
Right, right.
But it's 5 teams right now in the tournament where the last 3 years where we've been battling over here that the league wasn't bad, and we've been sending multiple teams to the Elite 8, Final 4, etc.
Oh! Whoa, hang on. Cadeau went for the punch. Jackson will try the 3.
And through all of that, it was a struggle with 5 teams in a year ago.
And a foul will be on.
Did Cadeau really just try to dunk that
he
ball?
did. Oh, he's got that in his game now.
Now, wait a minute. Does he realize he's 5'10"?
Hey, he's still got that in his game. He was definitely above the rim.
Okay, Coach, here it is. Just take a look. Here we go, Coach.
I'm watching.
Yeah, he can make that.
Yeah,
he can make that, Coach.
All right, Coach.
He's got that.
I'll give him credit for that.
A couple of free throws here for.
How many dunks you think he's got in his life?
Oh, he's got a bunch of dunks. I've watched him. He's got a bunch of dunks.
Real quick here, let me remind folks, the good folks that are watching the game, Carolina leading by 22, that ACC PM with Mark Packer, where people can call in and offer their thoughts on Joe Lunardi's bracketology, weekdays at 4 Eastern, right here on ACC Network.
We can't even criticize Joe this year. I mean,
we're not fighting that battle this season.
I think we can get 5 in, though. I really do. I think it'll be squeaky, but I think we can get 5 in.
But it goes back to my issue of if we get 5 in this year, how it wasn't a struggle. I mean, Pittsburgh and Wake Forest should have been in the tournament last year.
No, 100%.
So if you're talking about 5 this year and what has been a down year, why were we getting 5 for the last 3 years when the league was much better?
Well, nobody said that they knew what they were doing with this stuff. Man, come on.
18 for Ian Jackson, by the way. Here's another turnover. Tried to wrap it through traffic for James Brown. 9 Final Four teams, 111 wins since 2015 for the ACC.
But I believe the last 3 years consecutive has been 5, 5, and 5, correct? Mm-hmm. And again, we're talking about another 5 teams this year in a league that hasn't been as good.
No doubt.
Wilkinson the takeaway. Here's Jackson with R.J. Davis. And he will take it away and score. That gives him 20.
That's right about average.
Yeah. It'll be the 6th time in the last 7 games he's had 20 or more. Final 152 now in Chapel Hill, and the Tar Heels comfortably in front. And there's a reach and a foul by Jackson. That'll be his first, just a third of a half on Carolina.
Hubert Davis wanting to get Kay Tyson, Jalen Withers into the game, and looks over to Ian Jackson and lets him know to foul, stopping the clock. WD, let me ask you this. Is it still Blue Steel? Was Blue Steel a specific group of young men on the Carolina bench?
One team, 1 year, a little carryover.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Final 1:40 to go. Blackshear the pull-up and the rebound for Withers. So Carolina getting ready to win for the 5th time in 6 meetings against Cal. Last time they played 1998, Gino Carlisle had 29. The Golden Bears won in Oakland against the Tar Heels. The time they played last in an NCAA tournament, Carolina won. It was at Syracuse, by the way, Jim, in March of '97. And Carolina had Vincent Carter from Daytona Beach, Florida. Heard of him in the lineup.
Yep.
And Cal had this guy who was like a big forward named Tony Gonzalez.
He was pretty big. I had a home visit with Tony. He was a really good basketball player.
No kidding.
He didn't really want to go that far. He loved me, but he didn't want to go that far.
Are you going to let him play both?
I'm going to have to check. I'm going to fact check that one.
Are you going to let him play both? Football and basketball.
100%.
Okay.
Should we mention we had a FaceTime today with the great Stephon Marbury?
Yeah, Stephon Marbury II is on the bench for the Cal Bears.
And his son.
Talked to Starberry earlier today.
We did. That was an amazing.
And he looked at me and said, I don't believe it. OMG, I don't believe it. I said, yeah, you're surprised I'm still here. That's what you're surprised about.
Yeah.
He was in 8th grade at our basketball camp, and we had a really good camp. He dominated the camp in 8th grade. That's how good he was when he was young.
Well, I tell you what, he continued to do it throughout his entire career, even at the highest level of the NBA.
Vladimir Palovich and Matt Dessler have come on the floor, along with Jack McCloskey into the lineup here for Cal. And there's an up and under move, and it's Kay Tyson. First points for Tyson.
A little known fact, we recruited all the Marbury brothers and did not get one of them. So I don't know what that says.
Devin Curtis is a 6'11" sophomore from Milwaukee, wearing number 13 for Coach Madsen. Here's McCloskey and a rim. And by the way, longtime ACC fans, there's no relation with the former Wake coach and longtime NBA executive Jack McCloskey.
Those guys have been gone for 4 years.
No, but no similarity to the families is what I meant.
Okay.
Told, yeah.
Nobody knew who you were talking about.
So Carolina wins 79-53, and the Tar Heels win for the 4th straight time and for the 6th time in the last 7 games. And we're going to visit with Ian Jackson here in just a moment.
And I have to get up because I'm the 3rd wheel here.
So
Hey, you still can pay for dinner, though.
So Boeheim will move out of the way. We'll talk to Ian Jackson, who had another 20-point game here tonight for Carolina, as the Tar Heels go to 12-6 on the year, 5-1 in the ACC, with a visit from the Stanford Cardinal here on Saturday in Chapel Hill. Cal, meanwhile, will make the move across the triangle, and they'll see NC State on Saturday night. Hard night for Andre Stojakovic, just 6 points. But give a guy who came in averaging 24 in the ACC.
Yeah, but give Carolina's defense a lot of credit for getting the job done on Stojakovic. And again, when you can come in and follow the scouting report and do the job defensively that they were able to do on Stojakovic, that says a lot for Hubert Davis and his team to be able to come in and execute the way they did, especially defensively.
All right, pleased to be joined here courtside by the freshman from the Bronx in New York, Ian Jackson. Captain Jack, welcome.
What's going on, you guys? How's everything?
I'm just glad you didn't drive to the game today. Let's just start with that. You getting out the car, making sure you weren't driving, but you were driving to the rim all night.
Yes,
just getting the job done. What has happened over the last 7 games for you that's allowed you to have this type of success?
Just with confidence, you know. I always had super high confidence, but to see things go in the right direction, you know, and to continue going in the right direction, it kind of builds and builds on that.
Ian, the other thing that comes up to me is the way you guys just don't cash out on defense. Yeah, things go well offensively, but tonight we really saw the defense flash, I think, in many ways.
Absolutely. You know, that's something in the beginning of the year we kind of didn't do well, you know, so we kind of had our hat and put a big emphasis on becoming better on defense. So tonight it showed, and hopefully throughout the rest of the year it keeps going.
I told Wes and Coach Boeheim and the rest of the world watching today, early in your career, your high school career, people questioned your shooting ability. You put in the work.
Absolutely.
And right now, the way that you're shooting the basketball, I'm not surprised because we've seen the work that you've done. But just describe what that type of work was like for you to get to this level.
It was extremely detailed, you know. The shooting was definitely something I realized that I needed to kind of expand on, you know, especially being here and having RJ and Elliott be on the ball. I got to be able to make open shots. So I worked extremely hard over the summer. My confidence grew like tremendously, and the shots going in.
Real quick, when we got ready to start the game tonight, most everybody was here on time tonight, weren't they?
Yeah, most everybody. He wasn't here on time. He wasn't here. He told me he wasn't here.
Fat boys break up, and now this. Don't let them come between us.
Nah, it's all good. Hey, man, everybody be held accountable somehow, man.
Got to be held accountable. Good to see you. Congratulations.
Appreciate you guys.
By the way, I did offer you some of my crumble cookie beforehand, but you didn't want that. You had to go
There we
play.
go.
It's all good. Hey, he missed 2 free throws. I think we got some for free.
You did.
Absolutely.
You did.
Oh, congratulations, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate
That's
you guys.
Ian Jackson, another 20-point effort tonight as Carolina gets the win. The final 79-53. Let's go to Taylor Tannenbaum in the studio with Michael Carter Williams. Next stop, Charlottesville. Good night from Chapel Hill.